Good morning and welcome to Dewdrop. This is your host, Reverend Grace Reyes. Welcome. I wanted to give an encouraging word around Isaiah 6 1 and 3, 1 through 3. There are moments in life when something we depended on is suddenly removed. A leader fails, a system fails, a person we trusted is no longer there. And in those moments, we often feel disoriented and sometimes lost. But scripture shows us something powerful. In Isaiah 6, 1 to 3, the prophet says, in the year that King Uzziah died, I, Isaiah, I saw the Lord. It wasn't until the earthly king left his vision that the heavenly king filled it. Sometimes God allows what once occupied our sight to be removed so that we can finally look up and see who has truly been on the throne all along. When earthly kings fall, heaven is still seated. King Uzziah had ruled Judah for decades. He represented stability, protection, and national identity. When he died, the nation likely felt uncertainty. But Isaiah's revelation was this: the throne in heaven was never empty, the Lord is still high, and he's still lifted up. Sometimes God allows things to shake in our lives: careers, relationships, leadership, expectations, not to destroy us, but to redirect our gaze upward. What looks like loss can become the doorway to revelation. When we truly see God, we see ourselves clearly. When Isaiah saw the Lord in his glory, something immediate happened. He said, "Woe is me, for I am undone." In the presence of true holiness, Isaiah became aware of his own smallness and impurity. This isn't condemnation, this is clarity. The closer we come to God's majesty, the more we realize how small we are, how dependent we are, and how much we need His mercy. And yet, this moment is not meant to crush us, it prepares us for transformation. God never reveals His holiness without providing cleansing. After Isaiah confessed his condition, a seraphim took a coal from the altar and touched his lips. And heaven declared, "Your impurity is taken away, and your sin is purged." This is powerful. When God reveals our brokenness, it is never to shame us, it is to heal and to purify us. God does not expose us to abandon us, He exposes us to restore us. Vision always comes before assignment. Immediately after Isaiah's cleansing, the Lord asked, "Whom shall I send?" And Isaiah responded, "Here I am, send me." Notice the order. The king dies, Isaiah sees the Lord, Isaiah recognizes his condition, God cleanses him, then the assignment comes. This connects beautifully to what you have been taught about identity before assignment. God first adjusts our vision before He releases our mission. Sometimes God removes things from our sight that we have become dependent on: our job, our money, even our marriage, our ministry. Sometimes we go into ministry and that becomes our identity. We forget that our identity lies in God, the power to speak forth whatever it is what is his message. It's never been about us. We must surrender ourselves to him before we can fully come into his assignments. He is the one who strengthens us. We learn to surrender and give away our control and trust the Lord. So we begin to build trust in the fact that we have been assigned to something that is important to God and that we are there to fulfill it. We're not there to fulfill our own egos and our pride. We are there to fulfill the assignment that the Lord has entrusted us with. So sometimes God removes things from our sight that we have become dependent on. But it is not punishment, it's an invitation. As I invite you today, it's an invitation to surrender, to look in a different direction, to not look on man for validation, respect, or acceptance. God invites us, as he did with when King Uzziah died, and Isaiah no longer could look to the king. Instead, he had to look further. He had to look up at God, who was high and lifted up. He realizes in that chapter that his train filled the temple. This was a majestic God. This was a very big God. And his eyes were open to the glory of the God that he had overlooked because he was focused on an earthly king. So to see the king whose throne never shakes, the king whose glory builds this temple, the king whose holiness reminds us of our smallness, but whose mercy lifts us into our purpose. When your eyes finally rise above earthly things, earthly thrones, earthly celebrities, earthly idols that we have placed before us, when we suddenly realize that the one and only God is not the gods that we have set, then, only then, the true king, you can see him seated and was there all the whole time. I have some questions to ask you today. I would like that you reflect on them after this encouraging word and throughout your devotional time in the week ahead. What earthly kings or sources of security might be occupying your vision right now instead of the Lord? Number 2, have you ever experienced a season where something was removed from your life that ultimately caused you to seek God more deeply? When you consider the holiness and majesty of God, how does that shape the way you see yourself and your dependence upon him? Is there an area in your life where God may be inviting you into deeper cleansing or surrender before shaping you into a new assignment, elevating you to another level in the spirit realm? If the Lord were asking today, whom shall I send? Would your heart be ready to respond? Here I am, Lord, send me. And as I end this encouraging word, I have this one declaration that I would like you to repeat. Lord, lift my vision above the things of this world. Remove anything that blocks my sight of you. Let me see you high and lifted up. Cleanse my heart, purify my lips, and prepare me for the purpose that you've set for me. You have called me, Lord. Here I am. Lord, send me. Have a wonderful day, and may God continue to bless you. This is Dewdrop. We meet here live every Tuesday. Throughout the week, you can go back to this encouraging word, and may it bless your life. Bye-bye.